Hey everybody, we're going to be here with Hatton and Holly talking about Amaya's case. So drop your questions that you have for them in the comments. Do you two want to explain why this case means so much to you and how and why you got involved?
Go ahead, Holly.
Maya's possibly my niece, so that's how I got involved. So, and I can't stop. I feel like no matter what it is, I just can't get over it. And I'm not going to stop until I feel like I'm ready.
How about you, Cece?
As I've stated before, many people have heard me say this. I was added into an Amaya group and I started searching with one of the girls in the group that's local. And it just went from there. And it just became very personal to me the more involved that I got with like the searching and doing the flyers and such. And I met Holly through the case, and I met Keith, which is Holly's brother. He's possible father of Amaya. And I met some of Amber's family. I met Amber through the case, and it just went from there for me. So it just became very personal, and I just pray, we have to keep going. So hopefully one day maybe she'll be found, maybe we'll stumble upon her, or a tip that somebody may send in or give to one of us girls to turn in or something, and something may come of it. We just keep praying for justice, and we just can't give up and
Right.
doing stuff for her.
We don't want this to be swept under the rug.
And it shouldn't be.
No.
Do you two feel like this case is still being actively worked? Cheryl asked.
Yes. I absolutely. It's never been given up on. Absolutely. I have true faith in law enforcement. A lot of people think that they dropped the ball on the case and they gave up, and that's just absolutely not true.
It's not. Yeah, they're still working on it. And it's going to take a minute. But they're still working on it. They haven't stopped.
Yes, Phase Dragon, the case is still open. What do you think people can do to help as far as bringing awareness or eventually get answers?
I believe that if people post flyers, do whatever it takes to keep Amaya's name out there, keep positive about the situation. Join us locally if they can, like in searching or just reaching out to others, just getting her name out there as much as possible. I know we protested and stuff before. A lot of people don't think that gets us anywhere, which maybe it hasn't, but it brings attention to Amaya's case. And if we ever protest again, hopefully next time it will in fact be Robbie Lyons. We couldn't protest him before because I was sick and stuff. So, and people had canceled when we were going to do that, but just do what you can to get Amaya's name out there, and keep praying for justice.
Definitely.
What do you think we can do to make sure this doesn't happen again, and what changes need to be made? Asked Watcher.
I believe that if the Amaya's law were to be put into place, which is what Holly's sister Patty had started on some time ago, and if it could go through legislature and they could pass that law, that maybe more parents will come forward when their children first come missing. That put a big, like, it threw a monkey wrench in Amaya's case because Amber, the mother of Amaya, waited a week to report the baby missing. And everybody that knows anything about law enforcement or just anything about missing children, the first 48 hours are the most crucial. And I strongly believe if she would have been reported within the first day or two, that Amaya would possibly have been found.
Right.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Faye's Dragon. Lindsay is sick and wasn't feeling well enough to come on. Cheryl asks, or says she's followed the case from the beginning and can't comprehend why someone hasn't at least been charged with neglect. Where are all the people involved in this case today?
Amber has had 2 children since Amaya went missing. She has custody of the last child. The other 2 children that she has prior to Amaya, the aunt and uncle have custody of through DCS. There's a possibility that Amber can get those kids back. So she's living close to where Amaya was very last seen on the west side. And then Robbie is not in Indianapolis from our understanding anymore. Jeanette Browning, we found out literally just recently moved from 229 South Holmes. And people on that side have confirmed that she did move. And we also went by there not long ago. Lindsay, myself, Tim, and Brittany, when we were on a search a couple of weeks ago. And there was all kinds of stuff just thrown out in the yard. The grass was grown real tall. Both of the cars were gone. There was stuff all in the porch. It was in disarray, and then there were people that actually live over there that did confirm that they did move. And as far as Brenda Carter, don't know where she is. The 2 brothers of Amber's that were present at the waterfront when Amaya went missing. One of them passed away shortly after Amaya, of cancer. And the other, I still believe TJ, the younger brother, he lives with Amber's mother.
Okay. Is there anywhere, I know CCU run a group and I think Holly's a part of it, where can they follow and keep up on updates or events for the case?
Go ahead, Holly.
And it's a Facebook page in memory of Amaya Robertson.
Seeking Justice.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
We try and do what we can on there, even when we go to do searches and so on and so forth. And that's our problem, doing these searches. We don't do a whole bunch, but when we do, we need help. We need more eyes and we need more people that would want to help do it. We're not, we just need that help.
Right. When you do the search, do you post that you're going to be searching, or should people reach out to you privately?
Oh, we report that we're doing searches.
Okay.
We just don't say where we're going to go, and there's a reason why. It's not a very good neighborhood to sit there and say where you're going. Me and Cece have talked about this, and we just don't want that to get into the wrong ears. We don't want trouble started. We're not going there to start trouble. We're just going there to try and find the baby. And if there's the bad people know about this, or somebody, we just don't want no problems.
Right.
Yeah, it's basically, Amy, how dangerous that side of Indianapolis is. It's mainly for our safety.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And we do sometimes put it in a group that we are going to go do a search. And then we asked if anybody wants to come and volunteer to help us, to reach out to us. They can either do it in Messenger or they can do it right there in the group.
Right.
Right. But a lot of times we don't say where we're going to go because we just want to, whoever it is that's going to be with us, we want to be safe.
Right.
And that's what the whole situation is on that part. We don't want
Mm-hmm.
no issues with nobody. We
Yeah.
just want to do what we're going to go and do.
Yeah, it can definitely be dangerous over there.
Oh yeah.
Crimezilla has 2 questions for you. Do you know why neglect charges were not filed, and have dogs been brought in at any time?
Dogs, yes. Um, Cece, do you want to talk about the dogs that we all know of?
You all are cutting out.
But yeah, we had the police had
Are
their
you
own
talking to
dogs.
me, Holly?
Yeah, it was about all the dogs that's been there. The police dogs, I know they were there at 1907. Then you and I was with the brothers, and they brought dogs. But yeah,
Okay.
we've done that a few times.
Do either of you have an opinion as to why they didn't just go for neglect charges?
That I don't know. I have no idea why they didn't do that. I really don't know. That's the big question in my mind as well. I don't know why they didn't. I don't.
Looks like Lindsay joined us in the chat.
I honestly, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. I'm sorry. Like it was going in and out. Like you guys were like mumbling. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me, Amy?
Yeah.
I can hear you too.
Okay. It kept going in and out. I just believe about the neglect charges that they're trying to go for bigger charges. And we've all three, like not together, but we've all three discussed this separately. And Lindsay also, Sierra. Um, and that's what we've all, at one time believed for specific reasons. So, I mean, of course, it was neglectful to let your baby go with somebody you were very aware of that was on drugs.
Right.
And then you also wait a week. You also wait a week to report your baby missing, but somebody's playing games back and forth with you about where your child is. That should tell you something's wrong, very wrong. And then Holly had even said it earlier while we were
Why? Yeah.
over on the west side.
Why not call the police as soon as somebody sits there and tells you that you can't have your kid unless you go with them?
Right.
Right there, bam. Right
Um,
there. I
right.
mean, it's like a mama bear and her cubs. You should immediately. What? What do you mean I can't have my child unless I go with you? That right there tells you, call the police.
Right.
Your name's not even on the birth certificate. You have no reason to have that baby and trying to keep it away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole point on that. But yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, if they're trying to get a bigger case going on that, they need to get on the ball.
Right. Well, and Ivy asked, do you think a neglect charge would be a slam dunk? Which I do think so. And I'm sure you two probably agree with that.
So she needs to be held accountable for something.
But Me says they think that because of the messages between Robbie and Amber, that's why they didn't do neglect charges. Lindsay says Cece needs a new phone.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we have.
It's not my phone. It's a $1,200 phone. It's my service.
Um, Cheryl says she thinks if maybe they brought even a minor charge against someone, maybe they could get someone to crack and spill the information.
Yeah, we've thought the same thing. We talked about all of that. If somebody just went in, even something small, yeah, I'm pretty sure they would talk. Because they don't want to get in trouble over something that, you know,
Right.
somebody else has done or was a part of.
Miss Incognito would like to know if she missed the part about what Amber is doing these days. Do you guys want
I
to?
had no idea what
Yeah.
Amber was doing.
Yeah, because can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I want to make sure. Sorry, my service has been crappy. Like I tried to talk to Holly today on the phone and my phone kept shutting her out.
yeah.
But Amber has had another baby since the last child, and she's living with the supposed father on the southwest side, just right down the road from basically where Amaya went missing. And there is a chance that Amber is going to get the other two kids back through DCS. That's always been on the table.
Yeah.
It's,
Sad thing about DCS is they try hard to get the children back to the parents.
yeah.
Yes. That's their game plan from the get-go, unless something extreme happens. And once we all did know that Amber did have her last child, hard as it may be to believe for some people, that don't specifically like me. I did say we were not going to let people put negativity in the group about that, and just basically to pray for the baby, pray for Amber that she can take proper care of the baby and nothing happens to her. And that's how we've kept it. We don't need that negativity.
No.
We all know, Amber was neglectful with Amaya. We all know she got pregnant after Amaya had misplaced Amaya and whatnot. And there's no need to keep going on about it. So that's what we say. Just keep her and the baby in your prayers and your thoughts, and do the same for Chris and Blake that have the other two children.
Me says Robbie should have been arrested for straight up lying and impeding an investigation, telling law enforcement different places Amaya could be. Do you guys have a reason why you think that maybe they didn't just go after him for that or hold him for that, possibly, to try and get answers?
I think it all comes down to them not having a body.
I think so too. And I think they're trying to get all their ducks in the row before charges are actually filed in the case. So that way they make sure they have a solid, tight case. That way, what happened to Baby Delano, which everybody's probably heard of him here and there. He went missing on that same side of Indianapolis when he was 6 weeks old. And the father was even on trial. And because they didn't have a solid enough case, which I don't know how they didn't, they had to set him free and he can never be charged again. And
Yeah, the case.
he went missing, and basically, oh, you're fine. He went missing in the same neighborhood Amaya went missing in, and all the evidence was pointing to that dad. And I
Yeah.
don't understand how he got cut free. I don't get that.
Right. And I've always thought that that was kind of why they didn't pursue charges immediately with Amaya, because they had that case not too long before that they dropped the ball on.
Yeah.
So,
2014, he went missing. And that is one of the big reasons that they haven't pursued anything yet. A lot of it stems from that case. And they have stated they only get one shot, and they're right. They only do get one shot. And if they screw it up, then Amaya's never going to get justice.
That's right. That is right. They're just really trying to work on it, getting as much as they can.
Right. It's it seems to have a lot of different parts to this case. I mean, there's the main people, but there seems to be a lot of other people that, you know, might know something or think they know something.
Oh, there's people that know something. They just ain't talking.
Or people that have heard about Amaya, they, you know, make up story, you know, as well as I know, Amy.
Yep.
You know exactly
Yeah,
what I'm
there
talking
are
about. And Holly, you've been there with me, so you
so
definitely know, and
many,
so does
so
Lindsay.
many rumors, so many rumors. But you know what?
Yeah.
With those rumors, even though when we got that, we went and searched and we searched and we searched. And, you know, every time we searched, we were, you know, really upset about it, but at least we know we
Mm-hmm.
went.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make
Yeah.
sure that we searched and made sure that everything was looked thoroughly. You
Right.
know, we all hope to find something, but, you know, that's the thing, you know, when we hear about something or we're told maybe we ought to search this spot or look into that spot, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're always immediately trying to make up a time, a date, a day, anybody who wants to help us and go so we know that that spot's done. Do we think we don't know if we're gonna find her, but we're at least we're going, we're taking that chance and trying to see if we can't find her or not, you
Right.
know. So everything we hear, we do go and we look.
Right. It's just like the same thing with law enforcement. If they think they get a legit tip, they have to investigate it. That's their job, you know. It's not our job to be doing stuff out here, but we want to at least try. I mean, and that's the thing, like some people have another theory on what happened to Amaya, but law enforcement stated that she's deceased.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm straight up not going to sit here and question the integrity of homicide detectives, and people keep thinking it's because, you know, um the baby was too little to take care of themselves. That was thrown out there just so they didn't have to tell the public what they found. But I mean, you all know as well as I know, they don't put people on a homicide list unless they have proof that they're deceased.
Right.
And I wish just everybody would like get on that train, but you know, like I can't make people go one way or the other. I'm going with what law enforcement said, and they said that they have the evidence, which some of us know what they're talking about. I mean, they found her DNA and it points to the direction of death.
Yeah.
And if other people want to believe otherwise, I mean, they can believe that. They can believe whatever they want. But I mean, and
It's
another
the
thing
hope
is,
that we're on to.
another thing is we've never looked for anywhere where a live baby would be. Like Holly can tell you, we've searched in woods. We've searched all over 1907 where Amaya's belongings were found with Robbie's up on that riverbank. We've searched in water up to our waist. We've searched in mud. We've dug holes because we've gotten tips that she could possibly be there. And if we were to find something, we would immediately stop and call law enforcement. Um, and
That
anything
right
we thought was a tip, we did let law enforcement know so they could do what they needed to with it or wanted to.
there. Right.
But never one time have we searched in any place where a live baby would be found. And law enforcement doesn't do that either. They're looking for a deceased baby, and they have let us know what we will find is a tiny skull and probably nothing else.
They want us out there looking.
Mm-hmm.
We've been told that by the police themselves. Over in that area, they want us to be looking. They want us. They want help.
Right. Ivy wants to know, do you both, so we covered that the case is still being actively worked, but she wants to know if you guys feel the police are doing all that they can.
I'm gonna say yes, I do. I absolutely 110% yes. because I know that they want justice for Amaya. And the detective that is on her case right now, I feel she takes it personally because Amaya was a baby. She's been missing for a long time, and I honestly don't think she wants to give up until she's done every last single thing she can possibly do. Are you still there, Holly?
I'm here.
Okay, I don't know where Amy went. You can go ahead now.
Oh, I'm fine.
No,
I
I
was
was going to let you talk about that as well, about law
uh,
enforcement.
the only thing when we were talking to them police officers, you know who I'm talking about, the dig that we did, the search.
Yeah.
The only thing, when this cop looks straight at us in our face and looks at us and says, please don't stop looking, that just makes me to want to do it even more.
Yes.
When they're sitting there and you're being thanked by police officers because we're doing what we're doing.
Right.
It makes you want to go out there and do more. It makes you want to try because they know what we're doing. They know what we're doing. But like I said, when that cop looked at us straight in our faces and said, please don't stop looking, that just did something to me.
Actually, yeah.
I mean, that just intensified it even more, knowing that the police even want our help.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are only so many of them, and people that live here know that there's constant, like, homeless people and druggies on that side are constantly burning things down. They're setting, bandos on fire, which is abandoned houses for anyone that doesn't know. They're setting stuff on fire all the time. They're trying to burn potential evidence of whatever crimes has been going on over there. There's been a lot of people that's come up missing. And we've discussed Jamie Tate. She's one of them, right over by where Amaya was last seen. And there's just not enough law enforcement to go around for all the crime that's going on in Indianapolis. There's not enough homicide detectives to go around.
Mm-hmm.
So, you all know, we're all local. Lindsay knows, Sierra knows, she's been here. And anybody else that's local knows that there is just not enough manpower to stick with one case. They're all over the place.
Right.
So it help that us civilians want to give, like, they're grateful for it. As long as we're not, let me get this clear. As long as we're not out here breaking laws, which I know there's been rumors about stuff like that. And I had stated in one podcast, and Holly, you know what I'm talking about, when we searched one area and we found potential evidence. IMPD did meet up with us, and that's exactly when she's talking about that the officer looked at us and told us not to give up. They've actually said that more than once on a different occasion. But they didn't make a huge deal out of the area that we were in. We weren't in anybody's house where anybody resided. A lot of homeless and druggies go into that place. We even found Bobby Lyons' name spray painted inside of this trailer that was in this area. And June's name was in there, and it had 2018 on it in lime green spray paint. And Lindsay was there with us, and a couple of other people, 2 or 3 other people. And they didn't make a big deal out of it at all. Like,
right.
Trying to look for Amaya. And they did, in fact, give us permission. Yes, you can go in the bandos, the abandoned houses, if you want to. Just be safe. They didn't, so to speak, tell us to go break the law. Like some people tried to make that sound. They never said that was okay. But they did give us permission. It was okay for us to be in that one spot where we couldn't get the owner's permission before. But they didn't make a huge deal out of it. They didn't care.
Because they know what we're doing.
Right.
And that's
Exactly. They knew we weren't harming anyone or doing anything bad.
yeah.
While we're on the topic of searching, Rebel wants to know, if it doesn't compromise or put yourselves at risk, would you mind describing what you do during your searches?
Leave nothing uncovered. Dig, pull stuff up, look under things, look inside stuff, look around stuff. I mean, everything you can think of. I mean, we're every nick and cranny we're searching around. Any trash sitting around. I mean, everything. Wherever we think something would be, we searched, or we dug, or we pulled stuff out of the ground, or everything we could think of.
Crawled under things to get to things.
Under things, gotten hurt doing stuff many, many, many times.
Yep. Been in waist high water. We've literally, that's what we do. That's what you have to do. You have to, dig through things. We were just doing that like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, climbing hills, mountains, for crying out loud, falling
Climbing
down.
Yeah.
I mean, ending up on your butt in water. I mean, we've done so many things. Searching spots that was scary, but we did it anyway just to make sure there wasn't nothing there.
It is very physical. It is a lot of work. We used to have an elderly woman, Jenny, that would come out with us, and her daughter. She's not physically able to help us anymore, but anybody that's been out here with us doing this, they know exactly what we're talking about, and it's not fun. It's not a picnic, and it's really sad at the same time, because you know what you're out here looking for, and you try to like picture if you do happen, what it happens if you end up finding this baby. Like, it's gonna be, I've even pictured that before, and it just really like makes me really sad, because you know that like she's never going to come back like she should come back. She's never going to get to celebrate birthdays or anything, and it's probably going to be really traumatizing. But the main thing is just that she would get to be buried with dignity.
Right.
And at least she would finally, if she hadn't gotten justice before, she would finally get her justice. And I get really emotional about that, and I've thought about that so many times. What if we did really find this baby? Like, it would be traumatic. It would be something that really would affect me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and understandably so. Ivy said it's still a strange part of the story, her belongings supposedly being found. Do you guys want to touch basis on that for those that don't know what she's talking about?
Amber, after Amaya had been reported missing, Amber and her family and her oldest son's dad, Logan Sr., had been out looking for Amaya. And Amber and Logan had broken down by what's called 1907. It's a bridge and water and all that. She actually was the one that found the stuff, and we all thought that was really odd that she's the one that found it, because they really didn't go anywhere to search. And the reason Amber said that she went there is because Robbie had taken her there before, and he went down there to do his drugs and stuff. And it was just really odd the way everything was placed down there. There was a diaper wrapped around a tree limb, which was really odd. And then the car seat was up on the bank. The headrest of the rodeo that Robbie drove, the sunglasses, clothing, Amaya's clothing, Robbie's clothing, just weird. And then the first time Amber went down there with Sierra and I, just the way she explained it all, it was just strange. And then when we met up with Holly and Jenny down there with Amber, she showed Holly, and I'll let Holly go into this now.
Yeah, Cece just made a comment to her and told her, "Why don't you tell Holly where you found all this stuff?" And she only focused on one thing, so I don't really know because Cece had to tell me, but she was more focused on telling me about the diaper that was tightly wrapped around the tree branch, taped to it.
Mm-hmm.
So Amber herself told me to my face there was a diaper taped to a tree branch. And then Cece was like, "Well, tell her about the rest." And that's when she told me there was the car seat over there. There was the headrest over there. But I don't know I don't know the rest of the stuff. Because like I said, when she told me, she kind of was just swinging her hand. So the only thing I really know the most of on that was her telling me about that diaper being taped to a tree branch.
Mm-hmm. We just found it odd that she was also the one that found the belongings. We found it very odd.
Right.
And then 1 week after the day on March the 16th that Amber reported missing is when they upgraded her case from missing to the actual homicide due to evidence that they found pointing in Amaya's death. That's the direction that the investigation went to. And it's been that ever since. She's still on the homicide list, and the case is still unsolved.
Yeah.
And as I said before, I am not going to sit here and question the integrity of homicide detectives, because you guys know, and people here know, they don't investigate homicides unless they're actually a homicide victim.
Right.
You guys know that as well as I do. I wish other people would understand that. And like we were discussing with Jamie Tate, they've not found anything pointing in that direction, even though her mom strongly believes that she is a homicide victim. I believe that too. You believe that. Us locals believe that due to everything that's been stated in her case. But they did not, and they won't upgrade that to a homicide because they have not found any DNA pointing in that direction.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Tears wants to know, did Robbie have a phone that was looked at for locations that he was at during the time of Amaya going missing?
Yep. Go ahead, Cece.
Yes. As far as, yes, they pinged different locations that Robbie had been that day. And when he had gotten to Jeanette Browning's house, basically, they said that's the last place Amaya was actually physically seen, and she has never been seen again. But yes, they did ping his phone in different locations. And Robbie did, in the beginning, give a lot of different locations where Amaya was last placed. This location, that location. A lot of those didn't even check out with law enforcement. They were false, bogus locations. And then he was also telling Amber, as Holly had stated, that if you come with me, I'll take you to Amaya.
Right.
And she's right. That right there should tell you something's definitely wrong. You should definitely call law enforcement.
Like I said, it's like a mama bear in her cubs. I mean, you're going to tell me you weren't going to give me my baby unless I go with you? I'm calling the cops.
Right.
Rebel says, you all are doing very difficult, emotionally involved work. How are you taking care of yourselves through this process?
Well,
It's emotional. It gets emotional.
I had a job for 5 years. I ended up quitting it.
It gets very emotional.
I had to quit my job. I couldn't do everything. It was stress, you're living life stressful, and then you have that on top of it, and then you're trying to be an assistant manager of the store.
Mm-hmm.
Which one you got to let go, before you end up losing your mind? It was my job. I left.
Right.
Looking at flyers, or are you still there, Holly?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, she's here.
Okay. I couldn't tell if she was talking. She cut out.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I didn't know if you were finished talking because you cut out.
You're fine.
Crimezilla wants to know, has there been different investigators from the beginning looking at the case?
The FBI got involved in the very beginning. To my knowledge, they're still involved.
I wish we could get. I wish we could pay for our own detective. To be honest with you, I really do.
Private investigator.
Mm-hmm.
I had actually reached out to a local private eye in the beginning, and I even met up with them twice. And they were interested in Amaya's case pro bono, but then they kind of dropped off the grid because they said law enforcement wasn't going to give them any information, which I knew that. I mean, so they basically didn't want to go any further.
Ivy Rose came in late and wants to know if we can, or if you guys can remind everyone and her, Holly and Cece's connections to the case.
Go ahead, Holly.
You want to recap that?
Amaya is possibly my niece. I've known about Amaya since before she was born. I babysat for my brother, and he came in and told me, well, I might be a dad again. And I've known everything since then. And when she disappeared, it broke my heart. And right now, I'm in this, and I'm doing this for her, and I'm also doing this for my brother. I know what it's like to lose a child, and I'm doing the best I can as a sister.
Right. As far as myself, right after Amaya went missing, I was added into an Amaya group by a girl named Kayla. She started one of the very first Amaya groups right after. And then I was talking with one of the other members that's local. We started doing searches and stuff. And then I just got involved in it like that. And then the more I would search and do different things, hang flyers and stuff, it just became very personal to me because I've never done anything like this before. Never done a search for one single person in my life. I prayed for people, but other than that, I've never done anything of this sort. And after this, I probably never will again. It's been a long, hard road, and it's just been a lot of emotion, and it's been a lot of drama. It's been a lot of just, I'm not even going to go there with the rest, but
it's been drama from the beginning.
Yeah, and we can't let that detour us, though. It doesn't matter what people say and do. It's not going to stop us from trying to find Amaya. She needs justice. She needs to be found. We may never ever find her. Nobody may ever find her. But we still want to keep her name alive. We want to do events for her. We want to do the searches. We want to protest if we have to. Just whatever it takes. At least we've tried. That's what counts. And we can't just forget about her. Somebody has to care about her. Sierra said that before. Somebody has to care. That has to be us. And just because people don't like us or they don't believe us or anything like that, I don't care. Holly doesn't care. Lindsay doesn't care. Sierra doesn't care. None of us care. It doesn't matter. What matters is that Amaya possibly may get justice, and that we're out here trying to find her, because if her body was found, then she would definitely get justice.
Right.
So we cannot give up. It's very important.
And that's how I met CC too, is
Mm-hmm.
when I first got on and I wanted to get a hold of some of them posters and flyers. And I got in that group and I was sitting there posting, can anybody direct me to where I can get some flyers? And CC was the only one who messaged me. And we kind of went on from there. And then I met
Yep.
the girls that did a lot of the searching with me, and I love them all to death.
Yeah.
They helped so freaking much. Jenny, Rhoda, Sammy, they were awesome.
Absolutely.
They were awesome.
And that, yeah, and then out of it, I've made some really good friends, like Holly. We became good friends. Like, we do things also outside of Amaya's case. Sierra, we became really close. We do a lot of things when she moves back. Like, we've done a lot of things outside of the case as well. Amy, I became friends with you through Amaya, and Lindsay, and some other people. And of course, we've made enemies along the way. That's just part of it. And that's just the way it is. It doesn't matter.
And we've even gotten mad at each other and not talked for a little bit and then ended up talking right back again. You know, I mean, it's just that, you know, a lot of the he said, she said going on, and you just, you know, that's what happens until you just finally, you know what, I'm in this to find a baby. I'm not in this for anything else but that.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you want to use the excuse you don't want to do something because a certain person is doing something, well, so be it, I guess. But, you know, that's not the case.
Right. And what you just said, Holly, I totally agree. Don't use other people as an excuse why you don't do things. You don't do things because you don't want to do things. It has nothing to do with anyone else out here, because you, me, anybody else, we're not going to stop you. You're grown. You can do what you want.
Right.
We're not going to stop you. We're not stopping you.
Do it. Do it. I'd be more than happy if there was other people that was doing stuff.
Absolutely. As long as it didn't become a big drama fest. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to be with us, don't be with us. We, you know, do your own thing. I would be happy if there was other people out there doing stuff.
Yeah. Like, we could
Oh, can't hear you, Cece.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're back.
Okay. No, I said, just as Holly said, we can always use help searching. If anybody wants to hang flyers, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I still have a bunch of flyers. Anybody can hang them wherever they choose to want to hang them. Anything that you guys want to do to legit get involved with Amaya, and really help, not just here for drama or for entertainment purposes like some people have done, because this is not a joke. It's not a game. It's not about what my life or Holly's life or anybody else's life. This is about Amaya's life, and she didn't get the opportunity we all did to have a life. It was taken from her unjustly.
Yeah.
And just because people don't like us, that doesn't mean that you can't come out here and do something on your own. We're not stopping you.
Yeah, don't. I mean, do it, please.
Like, if you want to go do your own searching, go do your own searching. Like, nobody's, shying you away from it.
Nobody's going to get mad about it. I'll be happy if more people do.
And if somebody else were to find Amaya, like, we would all be so grateful, because at least somebody made the effort, and they did, like, find her. And then she can finally get justice. It doesn't matter who does it, as long as somebody does it. It doesn't matter, like, if somebody wants to go throw her an event, don't use one of us as an excuse why you're not doing it. Go do it. Nobody's stopping you.
The more the better.
Absolutely. Like anything. If somebody wants to get Amaya's name out there, do it by all means.
To backtrack just a little bit, Ivy wasn't aware the FBI was involved. She said, what do you think it was about the case that got them involved? Was it just because she was a missing child?
I believe they got involved. I know mainly after she became a homicide victim. But like they just went on a manhunt for this baby in the water down at 1907. And then the FBI was pulled into the situation, and I still believe they are on the case. And I just want to let everybody know that's never been to 1907 or know anything about 1907. We were actually just down there today getting rocks for an event we're going to do for Amaya. We'll tell you all about that before we end the show. It's a street called McCarty. It's right off of Warman Street, South Warman. You go to the very end of the street, and then there's a tree there. There's whatever, dirt there. And then there's hill there. It doesn't go right to the water. That's where Amaya's belongings were found, was on that bank. And then you can either walk up to railroad tracks that sit up on a hill, or you can walk down that embankment, and there's a place where everybody did a Christmas tree thing back in 2019. And then you can walk on down and it will take you to the water, and you can see the bridge that says 1907 on it. That's what 1907 is. So
Rebel asked, can you tell us if the immediate family has been involved with searching and cooperating with law enforcement, specifically the mother? I apologize if I missed the information.
I know there's a few times that they didn't even know where Amber was. As in the rest of the family, I know the rest of the family is cooperating to the fullest.
Right. Yep, absolutely. And they want justice. They want Amaya to get justice. They do. They have been through a lot because Amaya is missing. I actually have befriended two of Amber's oldest sisters, and I think a lot of them. I speak to other members of the family. We don't all speak, but they don't all really get involved in Amaya. Not every one of them, but the sisters have done so, and other people have done so. But Amber never really put herself out there like that. And yes, law enforcement has had to track Amber down. And I don't care who believes that, that is a fact.
That is a fact. I know that myself.
And I have actual proof of that. I'm not going to put it in any group, but I do have actual proof of that. So she hasn't really put herself out there like, you know, a normal person would with, and that's another thing I want to say. There are people out here that defend Amber. That's your choice. Whatever you choose to do, that's on you. But I strongly believe, even though if those people like me or they don't, as mothers, I honestly don't believe that the way Amber handled the situation, even though they defend what she did, and I don't know why, I don't think that's how any of them would have handled that situation. I just don't see that. I know that's how none of us would have handled the situation. We would have been on the phone with the police right away.
100%.
Definitely.
So, like I said, whoever wants to defend her, that's their choice. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Because at one time I did in the beginning. Because like I've said before, she's Amaya's mom. I didn't ever want to believe she did any wrongdoing, or, you know, that's her mom. It's sad whenever you hear these stories on the news or something's local and a parent has done something to their child. It's sad. It's horrible, because these are the adults that are supposed to nurture this child, and the child looks up to them, and they're supposed to protect you, these children, at all cost. And then you have these people that have 10 kids and they don't deserve any of them. And then you have this person over here that would do everything to have a child.
Right.
So I don't know.
It's very sad for sure. You two are both getting a lot of love in the chat.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
We're not used to that all the time.
I know, right?
Well, we seem to have a really good group of people in here tonight, so
Good,
Absolutely. I just want to put this out there also. I know we've had a lot of backlash for a lot of things. And I recently got upset about some things. I'm not going to go into what they were. It doesn't matter right now. It does matter to me, but I'm not here to put people down. Even though people don't agree with me, they don't like me. I don't personally care. The people that I care that like me or don't are the people that I've been out here working with personally and I've made friends with, or people that I've actually made friends with and gotten close to. I care about that. But people that are non-factors to me, I don't care. But I'm not here to bash anybody. We'll just put it that way. I just wish everybody could like put their drama to the side and just focus more on Amaya and just stop making it a drama fest, because it would make things so much better and just so much more pleasant.
Yeah.
Because there's a baby to focus on.
Right. And the drama distracts from, the real point in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Went through a lot doing that, going through that.
Yeah. I also wanted to say, I don't ever remember anyone that I've told not to turn in a tip. Like if somebody out here legitly thinks it's a legit tip to turn in, by all means, go right ahead. But I've also said, and I want to make this very clear, that if anybody was afraid to do that and they didn't want to do that, they could reach out to me, reach out to Holly, reach out to Lindsay. It doesn't matter. We could keep their name out of it and just get the tip turned in. So I've never told anybody that I can recall not to turn in a tip. I'm not going to do that. That's not my place to do that, because it could lead to something. Some of these tips have been bogus, though, I have to say. Holly, Amy, Lindsay, Sierra. And that literally takes away from law enforcement doing other things for a case.
Why is it, do you think, that the only people speaking out are you three?
There's people that's speaking out. They're just speaking out on their, their own way and their own thinking. And if that's how they want to do it, that's how they're going to do it. But,
And it's just like I said, this became very personal to me. I followed a Casey Anthony's case from beginning to end, but I don't live in Florida. All I know is what I saw in the trial. That's all I know. I don't see literally how they acquitted her either. I'll still never understand that one. And I don't think most of America understands it either. But this just, like I said, became very personal to me. And I know there's a baby out here that needs some justice. And, you may have heard it on the news and then, okay, well, now law enforcement doesn't go public with what's going on. We do, because we want to keep her name alive. And what if somebody, well, like Holly can tell you, we were down in 1907 earlier getting rocks that we're going to paint for the birthday thing that we're doing for Amaya in July. And we spoke to somebody down there. He's homeless. He had his daughter down there with him. She's older, just so nobody thinks there's a little kid running around down at 1907 that's, homeless. They're grown. But we were legitly talking, and yes, he has heard of Amaya before. And then we were talking about that. We were also talking about Jamie Tate and possibly getting some information. So I'm not going to put his name out here because I don't want to get anybody hurt.
Right.
Almost every homeless person that we have come in contact with has been nice about it. They've talked to us, really nice, really nice. Didn't avoid us or anything. Didn't give us no meanness, no, tempers or nothing. They was always nice.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I have someone who was living at 1907 that I know now and that my own daughter knows.
We actually did invite them to, they were very nice people. That guy is a recovering drug addict. He's been clean for years. I guess he's just down on his luck. We didn't get a lot into that situation. He seemed very godly. He seemed very godly. He even told us, "God bless you," before we left. We did invite him and his daughter to our birthday celebration, and I hope they come. That would be nice because they were very nice people.
Oh yeah, he even jumped for joy when he told us how many days he's been drug free.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was good to hear though.
Yeah.
Rebel wants to know, what examples of defense do people give for the mother's behavior and actions or inactions?
Well, okay, where should we start? Because that's a good one. We've heard a lot of them. That in Messenger, Robbie was going back and forth with her. He's the one that admitted he had her last. Blah blah. Amber's not at fault. I don't even know how to keep going with that one. There's so many. Go ahead, Holly. You take over.
I've heard so much. I don't even know where to start.
I know.
I mean, there's just so much about. I've met her one time, and that's when we did that small search, and she was telling me the stuff or where the stuff was and all that and the other. After that, she got mad over somebody else, and so since she got mad at somebody else, she got mad at me and blocked me, and that was it.
Right. I don't know. I just want to say with that, just being around her like I was, yeah, I wanted her to give me some kind of a clue where we could search for Amaya. She could never give me answers. And that just caught me as odd because she's known Robbie most of her life. And okay, she's been dating him for a while, but you can't give us any inclination of where he might have taken your daughter. I found that really weird. And then the only place you search is the one where you find your daughter's belongings. We all found that very strange. And just her actions, Holly, you've been around her. I was around her a lot, and Sierra was around her a lot, and Lindsay's been around her a few times. They were never friendly at all, but which I understand why. Because Lindsay straight up never believed her from the get-go. And then Sierra never really did either, but I told her, I said, just be nice, because she just saw a lot. She saw right through Amber, and I wanted to believe her, like I said, because I cared about her as a person at one time. But just her actions, they were just saying a lot, speaking a lot of volumes. And if other people could legitly be around her and see what we have seen and experienced, and just her telling one story here, and then a week later she'll change her story, And she's done that with law enforcement. And it doesn't help the case. It hasn't helped the case. And the people that are directly screwing up the case are the people that surrounded Amaya. Has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with Holly or Lindsay or Sierra or Jenny or anybody else that's been out here searching or been in the Amaya groups. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the people that are involved and had been involved with Amaya. So,
I mean, we all know Robbie's the suspect. But we also all know from the last time that detective was on the news, we also all know there's others that know.
yeah.
There's
And they
others
said that.
know. They said it in the news conference.
Yes.
So more than likely, it's that group. That's that group.
Yep.
It's that group of people that was at that hotel that knows more than what they are saying.
Absolutely. And I mean, just by everything that I've been told personally, and some of us have been told personally, and even from Amber herself, I can see a lot of the reasons why Amaya's case hasn't been solved. Because you get these people lying to law enforcement that were pulled in for questioning. It makes it a lot harder to solve a case.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean law enforcement dropped the ball. That doesn't mean that.
No.
That just means that it's harder for them to put pieces together. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It doesn't mean that anybody's per se pulled off the perfect crime. And I still am going to put this out here just from things I've been told. And other things. Robbie, yeah, I do believe that, and a lot of us believe he was smart enough to be a drug runner for Jeanette, which Amber even said he was that. And we saw messages that say so. But I don't believe he's smart enough to pull off a homicide.
He had help or whoever it was. There's others that know. It's just that we don't know because it's that don't tell kind of thing, and that's the sad part. This is a baby. This is a baby, and nobody wants to say something. That's the sad part.
What did you say, Holly? You cut out.
Just the sad part if nobody wants to say anything.
No. And as I've said, and I think we've kind of agreed that we don't really think there's a lot of people that really honestly know what happened to Amaya except the people that were directly involved, because Robbie has fell off the grid. He hides. He has never spoken publicly. He's let Michael Kramer, his stepdad, which Michael claims Robbie as his child, and he wanted to protect Robbie at all costs. He was doing the speaking for Robbie, and he contradicted himself a lot of times. And then when he got backed in a corner, when being questioned about different things, then he kind of like shied away. And then you have Amber that has given the persona like to America, just like Casey Anthony did. That she really, I mean, just her actions, that she really doesn't like concern herself a lot with Amaya. I'm not the only one that's seen it. Everybody here that's local's seen it. I've seen it being around her and hanging out with her. Her own family has seen the same thing.
Right.
It's not just me. It's anybody that's been around her. Like, you just carry on like, Amaya didn't exist and you got pregnant a month later. How do you just explain that? Some people say, oh, well, she was hurt and blah, blah. No, like, You don't worry about going and laying down with somebody and creating another child when you just lost one and you don't even claim to know where she is.
Better yet, why are you going to go to a hotel room and have a tattoo party and having a blah blah day? You know how it goes at a hotel when you know
Mm-hmm.
your baby's missing. Who does that?
Right.
Who goes on parties knowing that your baby is missing?
Right.
That's the whole
Casey
point.
Anthony.
I mean,
Casey
really.
Anthony. She did the same thing.
I mean,
I mean,
that's crazy.
so the actions speak for themselves. How do you explain that somebody cares about their child when you're out doing those kind of things? And
And
you
your
wait a
baby.
whole week. You wait a whole week to report your daughter missing. You knew there was something wrong there. You knew. You can't say you didn't know.
Wasn't there a tattoo done that weekend as well? Do you want to touch
Yep.
base on that?
Yeah, she went to let's see, the waterfront back to Jeanette's. Then on the 14th, she went with Robbie to a local hotel not far from me in Beach Grove, which is part of Indianapolis on the southeast side, with Robbie, where he beat the crap out of her. And then her and little Logan left. And then she went on the 15th with Logan Sr., and I call him Trey. His name's Andres. He was good friends with Logan. And then another girl named Jessica. They ended up at Fana Suites in Greenwood. And that's where they had the tattoo party. And she got Amaya's name on her wrist, which I later took her with me and got it fixed because I don't even want to go there with that. And then she also got little Logan's name on the other wrist.
Rebel said, remind me why she waited a week, not that any reason is good enough.
She said that she believed that Amaya was okay. And that's why she waited. She actually didn't report Amaya missing until a week later when Robbie actually hit her with the car. So it was kind of a thing like, oh, my boyfriend just hit me with a car. And oh, by the way, my baby's missing. She had to be pushed into reporting Amaya missing. And there is no good explanation for why she did it. There is none. And I want to put this out here while I'm thinking of it. Law enforcement, and you all, Holly, you can back me on this. I wish Lindsay was on here. Sierra, one of you guys. Law enforcement, and it was public. Like, law enforcement said they understood why, but never had one time have you ever heard them say that that was okay. Has anyone ever heard them say that that was okay?
No.
Absolutely. Because it isn't. Because it really messed up Amaya's case. Like, you got a whole week now that the baby's gone. Like, she could have been 10 states away by now.
Right.
But they did say that they kind of understood why, even though, correct, because of some texts.
Yes. Because he was taunting her, which there again, like, that clearly tells you something's wrong. Because Amber had said, when they left the waterfront, where's the Maya, Robbie? She kept going back and forth with him. And he would tell her one thing, then he tells her another. That tells you, common sense tells you something's not good. And then he had even made comment. What's that, Holly?
I was just gonna say it again, don't tell me this kind of thing, and this one girl will wait till, like what you said, waiting until there's an argument between her and Robbie to call the
Mhm.
police to tell them that Robbie hit her with a car. And by the way, my kid's missing. Why
Yeah.
does it take that long? Why? Why?
Why
I
didn't
mean,
you just do that in the beginning?
you're going to sit here and you're going to trust somebody. Like she said, I trust him. You're going to trust somebody who's going to sit there and say, you want your baby, you're going to have to come with me. That's somebody you trust? No. Especially when we found out that he had put his hands on Amber.
Right.
I
And
mean,
anybody that does methamphetamine, like they're not in their right mind of thinking when they've been up for days, and it makes you irritable and irrational, and you could be violent because you've been for days without sleep or without eating or doing normal things. So it has a very big tendency to make you violent.
yeah.
Rebel says, has law enforcement ever released the information for why they believe they're looking for a body and not a missing live child?
Have they ever released like the reason?
Yeah, I think
No.
that's
No, but they did tell the family the reason. I know the reason is because they found DNA stating that Maya is deceased. They've never came public with it, no. And Holly knows as well, like there was DNA found that points in the direction that she's deceased.
I've talked to the dad. I've talked to Amber's dad. He said the same
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
I've talked to her sister. She said the same thing. So,
Yeah. And I was there the day of the dig, and I know what was said. I
right.
was right there. I know what was stated to them.
I mean, I don't think they're going to lie about that. I mean,
Absolutely not.
right. So,
Homicide detectives took the case over. And as we've said before, missing persons don't get turned over to homicide detectives without evidence that they're a homicide victim.
Right.
I don't know if they do that in other states, which I highly doubt it, but I know they don't do that here in Indiana.
I would hope not.
And
There are cases that we know, should be on the homicide that haven't even made it there. So
Mhm.
that speaks for itself a lot.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Especially like in Jamie's case. I mean, even her mom knows she's dead.
Yeah.
And we were talking today with that guy that we met at 1907. He even discussed, and I'll talk to you later about that in private, but he even was talking to us about Jamie and things that he had been told that happened to her. So, like I said, I'll talk to you about that later in private, but
Okay.
yeah.
I guess for now, because there's not really any more questions popping up, if you want to talk about the event coming up.
Yeah. We're going to be hosting a birthday event for Amaya's third birthday. She would have been 3 this year on July the 14th. We done this last year as well. We did a butterfly release, and we had a pitch and cookout afterwards. That's what we're going to do this year. We're going to do something kind of special, and then try to at least. And then we're going to do a pitch in for people that want to come. They just need to reach out to us and let us know if they would like to attend. And then I think we've pretty much decided on Saturday, July the 24th, because Lindsay's 3-year-old, or her little boy, Roey, he will be 3 2 days before Amaya. So we wanted to not have her to put that off. We want her to go ahead and do her birthday thing, but we also wanted her to be able to be present because she's just as diehard Amaya as we are. And then I wanted to also give Sierra time to get back so she can be present. And then we're going to give a location at a later date. We're going to give a time. I think we're thinking in between 2 and 3, but it will be July the 24th. And then Brittany, one of the members of our Amaya group, she helped search with us last time she came to the tree that we planted for Amaya. You know, you were there. She's going to have a cake made, I believe, because our theme is going to be sunflowers and honeybees. Holly came up with that. I love that idea. It's really cute. So we are going to have cake. And then just whoever wants to join us and pitch in, or if people like can't show up and they want to donate, they're welcome to do that. Just hit me up and then we can go from there. People have done that for, you know, in the past.
Oh yeah, and I'm so grateful for that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
Sometimes
helps out so much.
this stuff sometimes gets really costly, and we make it happen no matter what. People don't have to do that if they want to do that. That's totally up to them.
I've linked your Facebook group in the description box for anybody that is interested in following and getting in, you know, more information about the events or any updates that may come up. So
Thank you.
sorry Lindsay couldn't be here tonight, you guys, but I want to thank Holly and Cece for coming on. I hope this kind of helped with some of your guys' questions. I'm going to call it a night, so I will talk to everybody later.
Thank you
Bye.
for having us on, Amy.
Oh, anytime.
Thank you.
All right.